The University of Nairobi worked with CORDAID to look at the impact of this LAPSSET on the communities in northern Kenya with respect to impact on their culture, impact on their socio-economy, impact on their environment, and impact on their human rights aspects. So we identified 4 counties, that is Isiolo, Marsabit, Samburu, and Laikipia, where part of the LAPSSET will be. Isiolo was selected particularly because it's a nerve center of LAPSSET.
I believe CORDAID and University of Nairobi has done is very independent, and I'm sure you have gone to the ground, and it's not something that is government driven, and I hope it will be very fruitful, and we will be able not only to write a document, listen, but also to transfer that knowledge to our people, because already we have 30 NGOs who can easily, spread the right information.
The objective of the work was to document the impacts of this LAPSSET itself as LAPSSET corridor, as well as those other projects like Crocodile Joe Mega Dam that is going to supply water to Isiolo County. Some respondents thought that the government has a hidden agenda with the LAPSSET. And of course, these are what communities are feeling down there on the ground. Some land has been acquired without compensation or consent from the community. That's what they are feeling. The socioeconomic impacts, people are happy about it because it's going to open up the area for development and also for trade and of course employment opportunities. And some people are feeling that there will be these issues of loss of morality, prostitution, drug, and so on and so on. So that is a big aspect of it which is anticipated. Then the authority of the traditional governance institutions, for example, the authority of Council of Elders is likely to diminish. Loss of indigenous knowledge as communities adopt other cultures. The region is likely to change. Resource-based conflicts due to competition for land and water. And sometimes livestock rustling, particularly when other communities that are also pastoral communities come in. Land tenure is likely to change as immigrants acquire land, either legitimately or fraudulently. There are many issues, and I think that's what Mr. Mokwe is talking about.
We've been talking of this thing called LAPSSET. Yeah, and to my understanding, until now, I even don't know where that LAPSSET passes in Samburu County. So once I go back to home, I think I feel happy to know exactly where this LAPSSET passes, so that I'll be able to share to the larger populace.
When you are doing a research, you must do research, do finding, then at the end, you should give recommendation. I think in your research, I've not seen what would you recommend.
There's an assumption, I think, from the guys who are doing the study, that it's the LAPSSET that is doing all the impacts. But the people themselves have had, for example, if you look at the LAPSSET, it's created a lot of settlements. Either the highways, either the pipelines, people have moved, okay? So those are the issues that people need to also realize it's a problem of their own. It's not necessarily something that the LAPSSET will come and solve. Because if you look at compensation in Samburu and Ketrako, people settle along the lines, all the way from Marsabit to Isiolo.
We have a vibrant CSO network here in Isiolo, but for other counties also, these research findings and recommendations should be disseminated to the CSO network and the leaders through such forums like FM radio stations. Use the report as a tool for advocacy.
I can say at least 80% of the environmental matters have been captured. Since the report has looked on the positive part of the project and also the negative part of the project on the environment. Because what is done is that prior to what we have done, there are those experts who are registered by NEMA who does environmental impact assessment. On those reports, they identify the positive side of the project, the environment, and also the negative side of those projects to the environment.
The communities need to be involved from the beginning so that they can have the ownership of the process. From the way I see things, a few people who are maybe from around urban areas have been the ones who have undergone the research, the ones who are the key informants, or I don't know, the group
Focus on
FGDs, the FGDs and the KIIs. So there's a gap in the sense that the larger community is not aware of really what is happening. They don't know what LAPSSET is. As much as it is upon those who are in the urban areas to inform the ones in the rural setup, there's that gap. So if people are not informed, they are not aware of what is coming, of course they cannot take this thing for granted, and they cannot accept, especially their land, which is the sole property they have, what they value most in their life, what they have been looking after since history, to be taken away. So it's a human rights issue, and I think we need to refocus and see how best a research could be done after community participation.
If you look at the action plan on business and human rights that Kenya has already developed one, there are all those safeguards that are put there, that you must adhere to the safeguards when you are actually implementing a project like the LAPSSET. One, there are safeguards. The second one is how have you engaged the indigenous communities you are going to actually dispossess by compensation which is quite adequate. So adequate compensation was not adhered to. The free prior informed consent was not adhered to. The actually report, the EIA report and the CA report, as far as I know, and that's when we moved ahead as an institution with MIDP and other partners. We moved ahead and put a memorandum to the National Environmental Management Authority in Nairobi and the CS environment to look at those issues of those reports.
The objective of LAPSSET is to contribute to a 10% income growth as a middle income country. It is supposed to give us 10% of some investment that will add into our economy and make us income. My biggest concern is we lose that 10% because we are not taking care of pastoralism to be able to adapt and support that strategy.
Let me say on behalf of CORDAID, also thank you all for making time to come here, be with us, providing us your inputs. And I think this is just a section of maybe communities we should have reached out to. But this is how far we can go. But we believe in you individually. You have that power now to take this further to your own counties, to your own constituents, and also your community, so that they can also be aware, because most of the things we were talking about is lack of information. And if you don't have any information, you can be easily passed by many things.